Hey guys, welcome back to Changing with the Tides. On today's episode, I'm going to have on two very special guests, and we're going to talk about everything related to the fourth Beatitude and a little project that they've been working on. So I hope you enjoy.
It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day.
Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit different in layout wise because I have on two very special guests, but first I'm gonna say what the fourth Beatitude is, and then we're kind of gonna jump right into the my introductions and interviewing these two people. So the fourth Beatitude is blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. So that's pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. But in my last video, I spoke of having on two very special guests, and those special guests are with me now. One of them I've had on before. It was last season, at the very beginning of the season, and her name was Betty Keller. And then today I have on her husband, Bill, as well. And I just call them aunt and uncle because they've been friends with the family for forever. So, well, hello guys, welcome to my show. Welcome back, Aunt Betty. Hello, Uncle Bill, for the first time. How are you guys doing today?
We're great. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so first question first thing I want to talk about is, first off, tell me what your take of the fourth Beatitude is.
Okay. Hunger and thirst for justice, for they shall be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
I think, to me, it's more than just a passive demand. In that to hunger and thirst is something, but that's an impetus. The idea is, what do you do about it? What do you do about how do you become satisfied? Sometimes I think too often we associate the miracles of Christ will come from external of us, whereas in fact they come from our internals. So a person who has hunger or thirst for justice will satisfy themselves by striving for justice.
I love that answer. That was great.
I sometimes think that when you say hunger and thirst, they take it literally.
Yeah.
Just to feed and to give liquids. That's not what it means. It means to outpour, become closer to God through hunger, through wanting to be closer to God.
Yeah, and honestly, that's kind of what I've been talking about this whole season with the Beatitudes, and now we're on the fourth one. I can't believe it already. But just being closer and having that relationship with God is so important. And I don't know, I just kind of always express that in my videos. So I loved your answers, you guys. That was great. Okay, next question or talking point. What does hunger for righteousness mean to you? So Uncle Bill, you kind of already touched on that. Aunt Betty, do you kind of want to add to that, or are you kind of good?
I think it's pretty much the same. Righteousness means being morally right. And I think that's what righteousness means for this particular Beatitude. We're morally right to be responsible for our brothers.
Yeah, I agree. This one's a tricky one because, like you said before, Aunt Betty, you can either take it really literally and look at it as hunger and thirsting literally, or you can look at it as having a closer relationship with God and fighting for that justice. So
now some people will tie it with grace, that the hunger for justice comes from grace. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the true, I think, to me, the indication of your closest to God is the grace that inspires you to do these things.
Yeah, I could not agree more, which kind of leads me into my next question. Now let's move on to the fun part. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing for the hungry right now at St. Joseph's Parish in Sea Isle.
We're excited to share this. So it's an outreach program from the Catholic Daughters, and it's called Feed the Hungry. And before the pandemic happened, we would make casseroles and sandwiches and send them to outreach programs, the branches being one of them. And then the pandemic hit and we could no longer feed these people. And of course, who's hurt most is the poor. So what we decided to do is to collect the peanut butter and jelly and take it down. They could make the sandwiches. So when Bill and I thought about it, we thought, this is more than just feeding the hungry, feeding the poor in our community. It's in enveloping in our parishioners and letting them share and make a difference and recognizing other people in their lives. So by them bringing these donations, it says to the people that are poor, we recognize you, we appreciate you, we want you to know that we love you.
Yeah.
And it's been really successful. We've been so pleased with the outpour, and the people are just, when they come to deliver the food at our auditorium, they're so enthusiastic and they just embrace the whole idea because they know these people now.
Yeah.
So it's fabulous. It really is.
In a way, it sounds like it's kind of become like their second family almost.
Yes.
I love that. And that's kind of what like church should be or should feel all about, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, we talk about it. It's many ways it's a community, what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we'll even go on to this, a communion of community, where people, our fellow, they're just not people, they have names. We know them, we see them weekly, we see them daily sometimes. And this is almost a way in which everyone in the community or the community are able to also express their hunger for justice.
Right.
So in many ways, we're just the gatherers. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we,
You just collect the food.
Right. But if we didn't have them, what's the point? You know, we couldn't collect anything. We couldn't
exactly.
share this. Yeah.
And in fact, we're the gatherers of those people who then share.
Yeah.
Okay. See, we have been involved in this for a long time, in other formats and other places. And one of the things we learned when we first started it in Newark, New Jersey, up in a church that had been dropped into a chapel and was really used as a basis for a missionary done by the Mother Teresa sisters. We would weekly work with them in a soup kitchen and breakfast and actually a religious education events that they would provide, not only on days like Saturdays, but even New Year's and other times. But it was the idea that the fundamental thing is that you get a privilege to lift the burden of my fellow suffering man. Okay? It was in a prayer, we would say. All right? And that's really what this is about.
And Mother Teresa, who we worked with, her idea of good works is what we're doing, are a link that forms a chain for the love of God. So every good work that you do makes that link and a connection towards God and your fellow man. I
love that. So like it sounds like you're kind of being the person that's being rewarded because you're growing closer to these people that you're helping. I love that so much.
That's the idea of getting rid of the thirst, right?
Yeah. So how many places, I guess, do you deliver food to and like are you involved with?
Well, we started out just strictly with the branches, which is in Rio Grande.
Yeah.
And then we have a local church in town, Methodist church, we're going there. And now we're up to 4 different facilities that we're bringing food to.
Wow, that's
and
great.
The branches, if they have extra from what we donate, they can give it to other pantries that call and ask if they have abundance of food. So it's growing. It's really growing. And it wouldn't grow if it didn't have the parishioners from St. Joseph's.
So you must get a lot of food then and a lot of donations, right?
Oh yeah. The last one we had 4 carloads full.
That's awesome. I love it.
It is awesome. It really is.
That's great.
We put the announcement out. We had a man from the parish who read it in the bulletin, the Feed the Hungry program. And he said, I have been here for a year, 2 years. And early in the pandemic, he was very concerned because he lived alone. So he actually stocked his house with 1 year supply of non-perishable food.
Wow.
Okay. He gave it to us.
That is great.
I know.
He gave it to us one Saturday. It was more than we thought we would gather everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And he was just so excited about it.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
so it touches everybody. It
Yeah.
really does.
I love that. So do you guys have any other like special projects coming up, or are you guys just, I mean, not that donating food is not enough, but like, do you guys have any other like things to look forward to or anything?
But we do the food bank weekly too.
Well, right now we're busy making Easter baskets.
I love that.
So they'll go to the children that are homeless,
Yeah.
and for parents that can't afford
Mhm.
to give their children an Easter basket, they're being made right now. So
That's great. So are you guys gonna get together, or not necessarily get together, but like get together socially distance and like put the baskets together? Or, like,
absolutely. We're going to do it with the 8th grade CCD group,
Uh-huh.
and they're going to put the baskets together.
Uh-huh.
And I think they're pretty excited about it.
I love that.
Then the rest of the Catholic daughters, a group of them will be doing
Mhm.
baskets for homebound people in town.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love
So
So what can people do if they want to like drop stuff off or like mail stuff in, mail donations, I mean, for these food baskets or like food in general, I guess. What do they just bring it to the auditorium, or like how does that work?
well, we collect it the first Thursday of every month. So they can
Okay.
drive up to the auditorium or give it to
Okay.
or in the office.
Mhm.
And then any donations really should be mailed to the branches in Rio Grande.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Branches has a site, so you actually
Mhm.
electronically send it.
That's cool. I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's what again, it's in our community, we're in a link, I would say.
Uh-huh.
We have other parishes, other religious
Mm-hmm.
organizations, which are also contributing. And sometimes when we donate to one group, that one
Mhm.
group takes it into Atlantic City, another group will take it into
Yeah.
Ocean City. Branches handles the Rio Grande area. Sometimes we also donate to the food bank, or the food bank
Uh-huh.
provides us some support. Okay, and those
Mhm.
go redistributors. Some go into Wildwood. So it's a chain that actually spreads out
Yeah.
into these areas.
That's once again
Wow.
the chain of love.
Right.
I know. So great. It's so like empowering almost to know that like people, like, I don't know, there's still good people out there, I guess, that want to help the
There
community
is a lot.
and the society.
They
Yeah.
just we can't believe how generous and how wonderful people are, and they just
Yeah.
want to do something.
I love that. You can't love, I mean, you can't really love anything more than that, honestly. Like,
No.
it's just, it's great. It's such a rewarding feeling to like volunteer and give your time, but then to like take it to the next level and volunteer to help someone else and like give your time to help them is just, I don't know, I find that so rewarding. So hopefully this will, I don't know, either the pandemic will be over soon or something will happen so I can come over and help a little bit with that. But
You will.
yeah, but until then, we'll have to keep socially distancing over Zoom, or like, I don't know, find something else to do. But yeah, well, thank you for coming on today, guys. It was great hearing all about what you're doing right now and like hearing your take on the fourth Beatitude. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
It's my lucky day.